What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. Time to get into the things. How is y'all's Monday getting started? I feel like my Monday started okay. Somewhat. I my mother used to say hard head make a sow back. And so I'm one of those hard-headed people some of the time. And I have allergies, sometimes more severe than other times. And yesterday I decided it was very windy. So I'm outside with all the wind blowing and the leaves blowing all over the place and the pollen blowing all over the place, but it felt so nice. So I'm sitting out there taking it all in. This is not new. I do this all the time. So, these are the consequences of my actions. I suppose that's where I'm at with it. Anyway, I sat my happy tail out there taking in all the air, and now my allergies, like I have a bullfrog over here on the side. I hope y'all can't see it. Can y'all see my bullfrog? Sometimes I get a little lump over there when my lymph nodes be full of allergies and pollens and things. So hopefully this is the worst part of what I'm dealing with. I'm gonna sit up here, I'm gonna drink this juice, I'm gonna drink this turmeric ginger tea, and hopefully, the bullfrog will go away and I won't be sitting over here sneezing throughout the morning. Anyway, y'all, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I told you what I got. I got some peach juice and some tea. I'll be sipping on both of those things throughout, this live. And hopefully, y'all are at your desk and wherever y'all be listening. And, you got your coffee, your tea, your mocha, your matcha, whatever it is you do in the morning. Um, Yeah, so let's go ahead and get on to the things. The weekend is over and it's time to get back to business. Um, some businesses are thriving, y'all, over here. Something for us to be proud of if I can, get it pulled up because, this is what I do over here. I fumble and I stumble, and y'all stick around here with me anyway. First on the list of things to do today, we're going to talk about the first Black woman to own a Chick-fil-A restaurant in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. We got Serena, what's her name? Serena Quick. She makes history creating 100 jobs. Can y'all hear me? I hope so. If you can't hear me, like shout out to me, let me know what's going on because I can't always rely on my phone to keep me in the loop. So, yeah, Serena Quick is the first Black woman to own a Chick-fil-A locations across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. 100 jobs created, multiple states, real ownership. From public housing to franchise leadership, this is what scale looks like. Black women aren't just participating in the economy, we're building it. Shout out to her. Do y'all Chick-fil-A? I don't know. I used to. I don't really Chick-fil-A as much as I used to, because I be blacking out. But, this is a reason to tap in. Lotus, Egyptian flower. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the chat. Salute, Jai Tony. We know how you salute over here in the mornings. So yeah, do y'all Chick-fil-A? If we're gonna be supporting this lady, you know what I'm saying? Over here, where's she at? She is in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. So, franchising is a good way to become successful, especially with the business is already established. So we're not gonna be judging. Good morning. We're not gonna be judging where she decided to build her business. We're just gonna go ahead and support the sister because when you support people that look like us, then the money can, it can be funneled out into other things, like she said, housing and other things. So shout out to Miss Serena Quick. Now we talked the other day about Waymo. Waymo, the automated, autonomous car service that be's driving around in these streets with no driver. And we know they have a Black CEO or, yeah, I think she's a CEO. Anyway, we have a little issue over here with Waymo, and we got to call out the things that are things. Now, we're very supportive of this woman and her success, and all of the people of color that are affiliated with the Waymo Autonomous cars. But they're paying DoorDash $11.25 to close the car doors in Atlanta. So if you're looking for a job that doesn't require a lot, if you get over here and you see a Waymo, you can go ahead and get paid $11.25 to go close the doors. The cars can drive themselves but can't close their own doors. Why? How do you build a car that can drive on its own, but it doesn't have an automatic door shutting situation? If a customer leaves the door open, the car malfunctions. That's funny. So you order, or you get out the car and then you walk away. And who does that? You get out the car and walk away, you don't close the door? I don't know. Anyway, Waymo's autonomous vehicles are designed to drive themselves through city streets without human input. But there's one small problem. They can't close their own doors. If a passenger exits and leaves the door open, the vehicle can't continue operating properly. That's where gig workers come in. In Atlanta, door dashers are reportedly being offered up to $11.25 per task to simply walk over to a Waymo vehicle and close the door. The in-app notification shows a guaranteed base pay plus an add-on bonus upon verified completion. No food pickup, no delivery, just close the door and move on. I think, man, if I lived in Atlanta, I might apply for that. While it may sound minor, this highlights something bigger: the rise of micro gigs with the gig economy, new type of side hustle. I feel like it might be cheaper to just, go back to the drawing board. I'm a GM kid. Go send them things back over to the factory and figure out how to make the door close. Anyway, for gig work already active on delivery platforms, this kind of task can be an easy add-on. No restaurant wait times, no customer interaction, quick turnaround, often under 10 minutes, guaranteed payout. Do you have to drive over to the car? I'm guessing, you got to drive over to wherever the car is and close the door. Now, that's funny. If multiple requests pop up on a dense urban area, what they mean by that, dense urban area? Question mark. Workers could potentially stack these quick tasks between traditional deliveries. I say, everybody leave the door open. Everybody get out the car, leave the door open, and we can, all get paid. The autonomous vehicle companies are pushing towards full automation, but edge case like doors being left open still require human intervention. Instead of hiring full-time staff, outsourcing small fixes to gig workers is flexible, cost-efficient, and a cost-efficient solution. $11.25 for every, you get 10 of them things, but how often are people calling? You know what I mean? I don't know. It seems to be a problem. We're over here talking about it. For workers, it represents something new, being paid to assist robots. If that ain't a scary thing, I'm going to go ahead and say it again. Workers, it represents something new, being paid to assist robots. That's what y'all want? Keep playing. I'm on the second half. I'm not on the first half of my life. So y'all can go ahead and do whatever these robots do. So would a person drive around following a car just to close it? I don't think so. I think you got to wait on the car to the notification on your app and say, it's a car on Brown Street that needs the door closed. Can you swing by there? And then I guess like DoorDash, somebody's like, I'll do it. Whoever's the closest. You're going to have people out here fighting over who went to go close the damn door. That's going to be the news story. 2 door dashers beat the shit out of each other on Brown Street because they was fighting over who was going to close the Waymore door. For gig workers looking for extra income, closing a door might just be one of the easiest side hustles yet. Y'all are trying to make the people just downright stupid. I don't know. Like, if y'all can't figure out how to close the door, that just makes me pause even more. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I live in an area where these drivers are ridiculously crazy. And not only are they crazy, just like in their brain crazy, people coming from different places and different, people from the Caribbean, some of them drive on the opposite side of the road. So they haven't got that all figured out when they get out on these roads. So what is going to happen when they have no regard for, the Waymo car? We don't have that here that I know of. So y'all let me know over there in the ATL. Are y'all signing up to go close the car door? That's hilarious. So if we both close the door, who gets paid? See what I'm saying? It seems like it could be a problem. Lotus Flower, I'm just saying, you know how these people are out there. We're going to see somebody, with their phone up going, look at them punching the shit out of each other because they both closed the door. Who hit the, I did it first button? I don't know, Waymo. We're going to keep our eye on you because seems like y'all have a few bugs to fix out. If y'all can't figure out like the door situation, I'm curious as to, what happens when, the traffic light or, road construction and you end up having to make decisions that are not necessarily there. You know what I'm saying? On the Waymo maps or however the thing works. I don't know. Like I said, I'm old school. I need a driver in my car. I about don't trust other people. So I'm about stuck here like I'll just drive myself, to be honest. Let's get down to the Congress of it all. We moving along today, ladies and gentlemen. We got things to do, and we're gonna talk about, is it time for Auntie Maxine to retire? Is it time for her to move along? What's this girl name? Mila Roman. I haven't done any research on Mila Roman. I don't know, I don't know much about her, but what I do know is she says she's over here clashing with Maxine Waters clashes with younger Democrats who say community wants new energy. Is the community saying that, or is Mila saying that because she's competing for, Auntie Maxine's position? A generational shift appears to be taking shape within the Democratic Party, with Rep. Maxine Waters now facing a challenge from younger contender Mila Rahman. A nonprofit executive is launching a campaign against Waters, who has represented her district for 35 years, serving in Congress for most of Rahman's lifetime, according to reports. Yeah, so ever since this young lady been alive, Auntie Maxine been over here doing the work. Waters, 87, has long maintained strong support in her South Los Angeles district, often winning re-elections with 70 to 80% of the vote. That's a lot. That's a lot. So the people over there definitely believe in her. But Maxine been working hard. She been fighting the fight for 35 years. It says, known to many as Auntie Maxine for her outspoken criticism of President Blah. She has historically discouraged serious challengers. However, Rahman's campaign signals what some see as a growing call for new leadership and fresh energy with the party. How y'all feel about that? I'm not in the district over there with Auntie Maxine, but it has been past time for Auntie Maxine to retire. She's a millionaire now, so go home. I feel like at 87, it's probably time for Auntie Maxine to retire. And that doesn't mean her input is not important. You know what I mean? But I feel like maybe it's time to pass the torch. I don't know why sometimes these people have such a hard time, letting go of the position. And like you said, Lotus Flower, she is a Lotus Egyptian flower. I don't want to skip out on the Egyptian part. I think she's definitely made a mark to be having 70 to 80% of your community still supporting you is huge. But I feel like it's time to usher in. And so I don't think it necessarily needs to be combative. I feel like it's time to usher in. Like, let's don't be lost on what the past, what the older, what the what do you call them? I don't want to say groundbreakers. trailblazers. It's important to respect and understand what the trailblazers went through, especially like now, considering what the climate is like. We might need to lean back and see like what the methods were, and then see what are we going to do different. Like we riding around in cars with no drivers that don't know how to close their own doors. So we might need some, younger eyes, to shape and mold the future of what's going on in politics. So yeah, maybe it's time for Auntie Maxine to put her hat on the shelf and, ride out these next however many years she got on this planet. I don't know why these people in Congress want to stay past the age of retirement. They should be teaching the young ones so they could continue their work, not hold the office till death. I agree. Because then, when she's expired, and let's don't be, she's 87. So, there's nobody, at least, because a lot of times people leave office, like this past situation that we dealt with where, old Smokey Joe, who was probably over there somewhere on the Epstein files, because it seems like everybody is. Everybody Google yourself and see if your childhood photos or something weren't sent over there. Anyway, we have these people leave, and then they're like, so who's going to take over? And it's like you said, you need to mold these young people, put their faces out there, support them, stand next to them. So when it's time for you to go, they already have support. Because what happens is Maxine's out and everybody's like, who's Mila? You know what I mean? I never heard of her, but I don't live over there. But I think it's time, we got to uplift. I'm over here, I'm not at expiring age. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grown enough to know that my position is not to be out here dipping it and doing it. It's my position over here to like share what I've experienced in my life to the next generation, so they can maybe don't fall into the same mistakes that I did, and maybe leave with a little information that I didn't have as a young person. Speaking of young people, these cotton picking kids, for goodness sakes. Child, this is funny to me. So this substitute teacher, was over here using the term cotton picking to the students.
Journal, a substitute teacher is heard saying this to a black student.
Keep your cotton picking hands to yourself.
It happened in an 8th grade classroom. The district has since removed the teacher, calling the phrase racially insensitive. But online, there have been mixed reactions, with some commenters arguing the phrase was common when they were growing up and there was no racial intent. We spoke with a historian who explains the origins of the phrase.
We see that phrase popping up in the in areas colonized by Europeans. And we know that a majority of the cotton picked in this country was by Black hands, enslaved hands for a good portion of it. Up until the 20th century, we can see that.
Lacey Wilson is a program manager at the Underground Railroad Education Center in Albany. She says over time, the phrase began to detach from its literal meaning, turning into Southern slang that eventually became a common phrase.
I think the first recorded use of the phrase we see by Bugs Bunny. And so I think a lot of the folks who think fondly on the phrase might be thinking about it from cartoon use, if not from people that they love or in their community saying the phrase.
If someone said that to you, would you be offended?
I would question the history knowledge of the person who said it. I would also not want that person to be actively teaching anybody about things like that, because I worry that they see some people as lesser.
With schools holding a unique responsibility, she believes the impact in this case can matter more than the intent.
I believe that there are people who say that who do not intend for it to be offensive. However, I think the impact is perhaps far more important.
In the background of a student video journal.
Child, let me read this a little bit and we can talk about it. A substitute teacher in New York has been removed from the classroom after allegedly making a racist comment toward a Black student. According to reports, the incident happened on Tuesday at Richmond O'Rourke Middle School, when a substitute teacher told a Black student, take your cotton picking hands to yourself. I think maybe they mean keep. The comment was captured in a video journal student was recording for a class assignment. Man, y'all stay being recorded. Teachers, y'all better watch what you say, child. It's going to end up on the internet. In a statement, the school district said it was reported that the substitute teacher made a racially insensitive comment to a student, which could be heard in the background of a Chromebook video journal being recorded for a classroom assignment. Based on our findings, the substitute teacher was immediately removed from the district substitute teachers roster. Wow. Wow. School officials also addressed the situation with the student and parents, saying the building principal met directly with the student in the class and reaffirmed the district's position that regardless of how it's brought to the school's attention, such a language is never acceptable. The incident has sparked debate online with some describing the phrase as something they grew up hearing and saying it was not intended as a racial remark, while others argue the phrase is inseparable from the history of slavery. Oh my God. Thank you, Tony. I try to keep it interesting. We're talking about things that come across my timeline. Listen, I cannot tell you how many times my mother has said to me, get your cotton picking. She said it. I mean, I grew up hearing it, and I feel like a lot of us have. I never, and this is all on me. As many times as my mother said that, I never envisioned slaves picking cotton. These children have no idea what cotton picking is. She was out of line for that. Now, Fortnite brain or Roblox, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I have been told to keep my cotton picking hands to myself, and many other ways my mother used to say that. However, I've never had it said to me by a white person. So I probably would feel different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's some things. There's like, I have a coworker, non-melanated, that says gal all the time. And it chops my jive. Every time she says that, I'd be like, who? Gal? Especially when her and her daughter are the only non-melanated people in the building. Everybody else is Hispanic or other. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you watch your mouth, lady. I don't know why she's walking around saying cotton pink, because like I said, it's like the N-word, for instance. Like, I hear it all the time. I say it. And I sometimes I try not to, but sometimes you just need to get it out the way you need to get it out. And so, yeah, unfortunately, she don't have to learn the hard way. Like I said, some things that people say, should be limited to the community. They ban cell phones in the schools in Michigan. I believe it's because things like this is being caught on camera. Does the punishment match the crime? I guess that's my question. It seems like, from what I seen in the video, because it was blurred out, but it seems like her reaction was like, she realized she crossed the line. So if that was her initial reaction and her reaction wasn't like, what? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I didn't even associate cotton picking with cotton picking. For whatever reason, it was just something my mother used to say all the time. She also used to say, if you don't stop them and hang you from your toenails. Now, that's terrible. I knew I wasn't going to get my toenails hung up, but I knew that meant she was pissed. And so stop doing that. But the lady's reaction, I don't know. Maybe she should not be taken completely off the roster. Maybe she should just be suspended. You know what I mean? Because we all say things, I feel like, that are not necessarily, we grew up with, that we're finding out now. That I have a lot of things that I had to like draw back. And especially being over here, I get over here live and I start running my mouth. And, if I say cracker, oops. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess for future references, there's so much other things going on in the school system. Suspend the lady, give her another shot. I must say that's not the worst thing that I've had to happen. We're going to call this a learning lesson. So, maybe we should suspend the lady and see what happens after that. You said, I use that line when I go home to visit with family. I'm so tired of these people using our language out in public. That's what it is. That's what it is. Like I said, I've never been affected by it because they know white person never told me to keep my cotton picking hands to myself. Now, if that had happened, I probably would view things a little bit differently. Some mamas was out here doing it. Other mamas is out here doing other things. This mama said, you 17, child, and so now you got to pay these bills. This was kind of irritating to me.
My son has a job now, and I feel like he should help me around the house with the bills. So I told him starting February. I told him starting February 1st, he's going to start paying $500 a month. And then he's going to start paying his cell phone. I've been paying his cell phone since he had a cell phone, since he was 7. You paid your phone bill like 2 times. So my son has a job now.
Thoughts on parents making their teenage children pay rent once they get a job? I got questions. First of all, why did he have a cell phone when he was 7? That's where y'all be messing up, giving these kids access to the outside world. Why he need a cell phone at 7 years old? $500, lady. You just want this kid to pay a good portion of your rent. I feel like making him be responsible for his own cell phone bill is a good place to start. And then maybe making him be responsible for putting a percentage of his paycheck in a savings account. I feel like that should be a requirement. But $500, what kind of job did he get? He's 17. So isn't he still in high school? Mom, I don't agree with this. I feel like she trying to use the kid like to pay her bills, and that's not cool. So you decided that a 7-year-old needs a cell phone, which to me is, I'm judging. So, and I'm gonna do that over here if I feel like it. 7 years old, you just got in kindergarten. What do you need a cell phone for? T said, I didn't want my daughter to work, but when she did start working, she brought her personal items. Yes, don't ask me about no tampons or no maxi pads. You have a job, now you do it. Get your own soap, shampoo, conditioner. Your child has very high maintenance lifestyle over there, T. So, I mean, she couldn't afford to pay no rent if she wanted to because she has very expensive taste in the way she move around. I don't know. My kid got a job and everything was about PlayStation or whatever, whatever video game system he had. And so that stuff was expensive. This is pre-buying everything online. So he was over there, at the GameStop store spending money. But I did make him pay like, I don't know, it was like $40 a week. It was very minute. He probably still mad at his big old age that I was, making him pay that. Ain't paying bills in mom's house once you get a job normal. No, Tony, he's 17 years old and he gets a job, and this is paying bills. Like my daughter has a job interview today. I told her if she gets the job, then she will be responsible for the Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? And her own cell phone bill. So this is the time in their lives, Tony, when you teach them, how to budget. So like at 17, like I said, how much money is he making? If he got to run out there and close the Walmart door, how many $11.25 is he going to get? He should be required to save money so he can buy a car or whatever, or have, when it's time for him to move out, he has a substantial savings so he can move, with down payments of, deposits and things of that nature. You were in high school when you got your first job, but was you required to pay $500 like a month to bills? I feel like that's a big number for somebody just starting. Now, if he's 21, you know what I'm saying, and he's decided he's not going to college and he's still living at home, now we're going to renegotiate the terms and conditions. If it's time for you to move on and you decided you want to still, be laid up in here, you know what I'm saying, and you're not going to college, then yes, maybe we go, make the amount that you're paying to the household more. You said you had to pay for your gas. That was all. Listen, I got my first little job. My mother wouldn't let me work. She told me you have your whole life to work, but I graduated when I was 17. So I was barely able to get a job back then anyway. But she said, you got your whole life to work. I want you to focus on your schooling. And when that's done, then you can get a job. And so when I graduated, I took a break. I took a year break. I did not go off to college that first year because I was just 17 and I was like, I'm not even going to be able to do anything. Yeah, we didn't have cell phones, but I don't think it's a big deal to tell the kids that they need to pay for their own cell phones. Shoot, they don't have to pay for minutes or anything like they used to. But yeah, I took a break. And I was like, I'm going to be so young. It's not going to be fun. So I took a break. I, got accepted to my college. Hey, Motown investor. And the day after graduation, this is funny. The day after graduation, I'm sitting at home chilling. And my mother came home from work after, and she was retired. She was retired, but she also worked because when she retired, her pension was not very much. So she needed to work in order to, make ends meet for the most part. And when you're used to a huge GM check and you can go work overtime anytime you want down to being paid once a month, that's a big difference. But she came home. I was watching my stories with my feet slung across the arm of the chair, eating potato chips. And she said, okay, you've decided to stay home for a year. In that year, you will not be sitting here, doing nothing. So I challenge you, to find anywhere to live for $100 a month. That will cover your gas and, whatever little incidental. She picked $100. And so, oh my God, I was like, I got to pay $100 and gas. This is terrible. But, $100 was not a lot. So it wasn't doing nothing really to help her out. And I'm pretty sure like she put some of that money, just put it up so I wouldn't have a little something, little nest egg, in a year when it was time for me to go to college. So yeah, nobody was over here requiring me to pay half the mortgage. You were required to pay half of, wait a minute. You were required to pay half of, this is Motown. Say that again, Motown investor. You were required to pay half of your mother since you was 14. I'm confused. Half of the mortgage, half of the rent? That's a lot. At 14 years old. I said the same thing. My daughter's, but she insisted on working. Okay. And I mean, mine did too. She went and got her little job. At that time, I don't feel like I require her to pay anything, to be honest. It might have been a little something, maybe help out whenever I needed, her to help out. But, the whole point is maybe I should have been stricter. But, this is the time, like I said, when you're supposed to be teaching them how to manage money, not how to pay half your damn mortgage, lady. I disagree with that. 500 is way too much. 50 a month toward house bills. Yeah, I mean, paying his cell phone half of your paycheck. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea. Half of your paycheck you still got, because at that age you were gonna blow it anyway. Hey, Mimi 83. We not gonna give you a number that YouTube assigned you. 25 or 50 for your son. Yeah. And that still gives him a lot of money to play with. This lady said $500. I think you had to give her $80, but at 14 years old, $80 is a lot. That's enough for you to hang out with your friends and go out to eat. And, if you're a single mom, that $80 will pay for some groceries or something. So I don't feel like that's necessarily. I told my daughter, like I said, if she gets this job, I hope she does. She's excited to be getting out there. She's getting ready now, like, hair and all of that stuff to go do her interview. But I told her she's paying the Disney Plus. That's what, $20 some a month. She's going to pay her own cell phone bill. And I don't know, like I said, once she starts saving money, I want her to save money more than, worry about paying me thing over here. Just learning how to save and be responsible. Um, your check was gone, probably got $50, $100 back. I mean, because you was over there. And I feel like I don't know how old you are, Mimi, but I could go a long ways. I remember going shopping. My mother was retired. We were going shopping, and she gave me $100, and my friend's father gave her probably a couple hundred. They were wealthy. And side note, I was the only black kid, to graduate. So I went to school with all these very rich kids. And my mother was a retiree who had to work to make ends meet. So that $100 for her was like a lot. And we went to the mall, and this girl went and bought some, I don't know, Yves Saint Laurent, some type of mascara for like 30, 40 bucks. And I was looking at her like, you're spending $40 on your mascara. That's wild. To me, I couldn't imagine. But, when you got money like that, then, you don't see things the same way. That's nothing to her. She'll go home and get another one. I knew my mother had to wait until the first of the month to get her money. And she was really, being nice to me, to throw me 100. She didn't do allowance and all that because she felt like she wasn't going to pay me to do the stuff I was supposed to be doing. But anyway, Mom, don't take advantage of your kid. That's not nice. What else is going on? Let's talk about this. This came up yesterday. You can't get nowhere with old Epstein without old Epstein showing up in the conversation. So Vlad, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Vlad, but Vlad is the white man that goes over there and gets all the rappers to confess to the crimes that they committed during the course of their careers. So he decided, ooh, that garbage truck sounds like he in the garage. He decided he was gonna go over here on Twitter and
I don't want to talk to these pimps getting guys to jerk off. Stay on that side. Vlad's calling me. Hey, Vlad, what's going on?
Yo, what's good?
How you doing, man? I'm on stream right now. Is it okay?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I saw your tweets about Jay-Z and Rock Nation. Is everything okay? Are you in a safe spot?
Man, people just do not know sarcasm, do they? It's just, sarcasm really just goes over people's heads. It really surprises me.
Okay, so you're trolling.
Of course I'm trolling. Hey.
Okay, so what's the purpose of this? Is it
Jay did a verse on the Judge's Grandson's album?
Okay.
How is this not obvious?
Yeah, the timing is strange because now he's getting revealed in the Epstein files. So I'm sure especially a lot of people do see how Tory Lanez is innocent.
I guess, man. Do they really? I mean, he was convicted by 12 jurors. His appeal has been denied.
I don't want to talk to these pimps getting guys to jerk off. Stay on that side. Vlad's calling me. Hey, Vlad,
Really?
You think that Megan Fox is the one? You think that he shot her in the foot?
Megan Stallion? He said Megan Fox.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about. So
He shot her too?
No. Okay, so all right, you're just trolling.
Yeah, man. Look, at the end of the day, we don't exactly know what happened, but when you shoot a woman and she's willing to take the stand and say that person shot me, that is very hard to get over, and if he really didn't shoot her, then he should have taken the stand and said that. And, just all the pieces, and he's talking to Kelsey over the jail phone and he's apologizing to her and she's the shooter. How you going to be in jail and apologize to the person who put you there?
Well, I mean, obviously maybe they forced his hand, but I did see his bodyguard, his security.
His hand. He's already.
You think that Megan Fox is the one? You think that he shot her in the foot?
He was in jail.
His security just went public and said the opposite of what the mainstream narrative is.
No, not his security. Kelsey's security, who was not her security the night of the actual incident. That was her security during the trial, and he said that he overheard her saying that. That's the story. And that story is from May of last year. And that appeal that they tried to file was denied.
What about the forensic evidence where it said that she stepped on glass? And that's what the original doctor's report was, correct?
She said that she stepped on glass originally because she said that she didn't want to see everyone arrested. But then when she went to the hospital, so the actual doctor took the stand and said there was bullet fragments. And he pulled those out. And then at first he said she wasn't shot. But then when they filed the appeal, he said that Kelsey was a shooter and he hit her arm and the gun fell to the ground and fired 2 more times.
Vlad, if Rock Nation just pressed you, you could say that too. If you got the call from Rock Nation, be honest.
He was in jail.
I did.
Have you ever shot a gun before?
Of course.
Okay. Have you ever dropped a gun on the ground and it fired twice?
I have not.
Can you imagine any situation with a gun where you drop it on the ground and it fires 2 times?
Okay.
I'm asking you, as someone who shoots guns, can you imagine that situation happening under any sort of physical condition? His lawyers actually said this in a press conference.
Okay, I mean, she lied on Megan Thee Stallion. She lied on
that's how she got shot.
On Gayle King. She said that she never had a relationship with him that was sexual, and then later she did.
Absolutely, she lied about that. But she was not taking a stand. You know, at the end of the day, you could lie in interviews, but when you take the stand, it's a very different story. Have you ever shot a gun before?
Of course.
Okay.
So Vlad decided he was going to troll the people, and he went on Twitter. And he came up with all of these, nonsensical tweets. DJ Vlad is making it clear he was trolling after a slew of tweets he made on X started making headlines. Kick streamer Nico called DJ Vlad to clear up. First of all, he said DJ Vlad was calling him. So DJ Vlad, why do you have this kid's phone number? DJ, what is this kid's name? Nico? Nico don't know the difference between Meg Thee Stallion and Megan Fox. He's over here with all this wrong information, but Vlad has his number. So Vlad, why you know this boy? Nico called DJ Vlad to clear up the tweets he posted about Jay-Z, Meg Thee Stallion, and Tory Lanez, where he jokingly, because that's funny. Okay. How old is DJ Vlad? He gotta be upwards of 50. He over there reporting on Puffing them. So this is his idea of a joke. Anyway, he accused Rock Nation of having him on a payroll, but then turned on them after the check stopped. Now, clearly the tweets were satire, but it's looking like that went over a lot of social users' head. I don't know who was looking for it. And clearly this kid, Nico, over here with his streaming platform, it probably has millions of followers. So this is how people end up with all wrong information, because he over here talking about she lied about sleeping with Tory Lanez. If I slept with Tory Lanez, I would lie about it too. You would have to be having me on a stand with my hand on the Bible and judge in front of me before I would actually cop to that. So no surprise there. I'm so confused as to why there's so much protection of Tory Lanez. Anyway, I wonder what Vlad thought was going to happen. Does he that much need, to go viral? People not coming over there sitting at his little table no more to spill their guts. He claims, DJ Vlad went on to make salacious claims about Jay-Z and Rock Nation, accusing Jay of paying lawyers and judges and infiltrating the justice system in an attempt to keep Tory Lanez locked up. Jay also paid, Grand Wizard not to pardon Troy. Jay paid the Wizard not to pardon Tory. Come on. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this was my last tweet, you know who silenced me. This is so inflammatory. This is not funny. This is, borderline. What do they call it? What do they call it when you lie about people publicly? Anyway, y'all will tell me. After the tweets went viral because of slander, that's what it is. It's borderline slander or flat out slander. After the tweet, you can't say that stuff and then be like, it was kidding. Y'all can't take a joke. After the tweets went viral because of how wild the claims sounded, Nico got DJ Vlad on the phone, and Vlad said people clearly don't understand sarcasm and made it clear he was trolling. Well, how many people are going to see this after he went out and tweeted that foolishness? He also pointed out that Tory Lanez was found guilty and his appeal was denied. following his conviction in the Megan Thee Stallion shooting. What are your thoughts? I think I'm tired of talking about this. Good morning, Chicago girl. I think I'm tired of of bringing up the fact that this little leprechaun was over here in his feelings and under the influence, blackout drunk. Let's just say nobody got pow-powed. You still were out in people's neighborhood over there leaving Kylie Jenner's house, so I can imagine what type of neighborhood it was, firing, off a firearm. So that in itself was bad enough. I just don't understand what Vlad's point was. Does he not like Jay-Z? And I'm not here to cape for Jay-Z. I don't know what he was over there doing. Nothing surprises me when billionaires get involved in the conversation, but it's just so you just go on Twitter. And you're not just anybody, you're DJ Vlad, the person that's connected to the hip hop culture, according to you. You know all these people. DL, what's going on with your boy? Vlad is an agent. I mean, I haven't watched Vlad in years, and I feel like a lot of people haven't. And maybe that's why he's over here with this foolishness. But nothing he said was funny, and those tweets went on. Let's see. There's some on this post. Some of the things he tweeted. It says Jay also paid the Grand Wizard not to pardon Tory. Why are you confessing now? Do you feel bad, or did the money stop coming and you mad about it? Vlad, the money stopped coming and I never signed an NDA. If they've been paying you, does that mean they stopped paying you? Vlad, correct. Their last check bounced because Jay-Z is it. Who are they? Jay-Z out here bouncing checks. How much did they pay you? So this isn't just some kind of sarcasm. This went on. He's answering people. It started with $10K a month during the trial, but it went up to $50K a month. All the payments were in Bitcoin, so they couldn't be traced. Damn, Vlad, be safe out there. Jay-Z could have your security on payroll. So now he's got these people engaging. I've always used Rock Nation security. I might need to get my own now. This is his version of, kidding around. It's over for Jay-Z. I keep saying he will be the only one guy arrested from the Epstein files. He's the fall guy. It's deeper than that. Jay-Z is Epstein. That's all DJ Vlad. That is not me. I did not say that. Vlad said that. So, yeah, here he is. Being a little funny, I suppose. That's what he thinks he's doing. This isn't really related necessarily, politicking and things. Everybody want to throw their hat in the ring. Your boy Stephen A. Smith does. So Stephen A. Smith signals potential 2028 run for president with Democratic focus. We don't want it. Stephen A. Smith is reportedly considering a 2028 presidential run as a Democrat. While he has not officially announced a campaign, the longtime ESPN commentator says he's taking the idea seriously amid encouragement from supporters. Who supported him to do that? Nobody black. For now, he's still weighing the decision, but a potential bid is no longer off the table. What do y'all think about that? I think, no, thank you. He might just be trolling. I don't know. It don't matter because the people said we wasn't going to be voting anymore. Good morning, E-Troop. Yeah, they said we wasn't going to have no more rights. They said we wasn't going to be voting anymore. So I don't know if he's trolling, but, we don't want it. So there's that. He's not the only one. Y'all's uncle over here. And he's not kidding. Stephen A. is suggesting that it could be an idea, but your boy Uncle Luke.
At the end of the day, once I did my due diligence, I said, let me come to Glenna's show and let her know I'm gonna run for Congress for CD20.
There's the sound clip that everybody's going to be running later on. Well, welcome to the race, candidate Uncle Luke. So take us behind. You actually were going to run for this seat 2 years ago.
Yes.
I remember. You actually did run for Miami-Dade mayor in 2011.
Yeah,
11?
special election. Yes.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. And in a field of, there were 11 candidates, you came in number 4. You had 11% of the vote as a first-time candidate. That was people thought that was very impressive.
Yes, with $10,000 in my my account.
Wow. So take us through all that you've done. You've played so many roles. You are a controversial figure in this community. That's factual.
Yes.
Take us behind the scenes of what made you decide this time, yes, and for this seat, and now.
Well, it's the perfect timing. I mean, just like you said, I was thinking about doing it within the last cycle, but it wasn't the right time because I need to do a lot of things, to get myself prepared to do. I need to do more outreach to the community. It is a sitting congresswoman that was doing the job.
So did you go door to door? Are you knocking on doors?
No, I just go meet with the stakeholders, not necessarily the politicians.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, once I did my due diligence, I say, let me come to Glenna's show and let her know I'm gonna run for Congress for CD20.
There's the sound clip that everybody's going to be running later on. Well, welcome to the race, candidate Uncle Luke. So take us behind.
So he said he running, child. Uncle Luke Campbell has announced he's running for Congress after he had given himself a deadline to decide if he was really about to step into politics. During an interview with This Week in South Florida host Glenna Milberg, Uncle Luke says he's planning for a run for Congress in 2026 midterm election. He had previously been eyeing Florida's 20th congressional district, which is currently held by Sheila McCormick. It's interesting because if you were unaware, Luke made South Florida history back in the 90s when he went head-to-head with law enforcement over claims his music was obscene and ended up winning major free speech protection. Yeah, he did that. He fought for the right to say head, and more head. What else did Uncle Luke? A lot of nasty stuff. That's what he was fighting for. So, the stakeholders, ? What stakeholders? He did reach out to the community first. Now he realized it was a key factor. He won't be helping the community. You talking about Luke? I don't feel like he's gonna be here to help the community, especially not the female aspect of the community. He has nothing good for women going on over here. You want to help the community, Luke? Be the general. Get these YNs together and down to the polls to protect us to go vote. You know what I'm saying? And if you do that, maybe we might consider, what's going on, next go round. I, don't live in Miami. So, but I don't support Uncle Luke. There's that. He pop that coochie, pop, yeah. Seems like he's, over there with the other folks that are down to the, files that we continue to talk about. I don't know. Yeah, he was over there fighting for the free speech, the speech to say the things that he was saying on his records. And, I was around there, dancing to Uncle Luke and all that. But, that wasn't politics. That was music. Luke said he's not meeting with the voters. Well, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? He's not meeting with the voters. He's meeting with the stakeholders. Yeah. That he said he only had 10,000 last time, but what is the point of going to Congress? We already have people in office that are not listening to the voters. So you can keep Uncle Luke and Big Mouth Stephen A. Smith. And Auntie Maxine, let it go. I'm just saying. I don't attach anything. And I watched, me and T used to review growing up hip hop. So Uncle Luke, we realized like you got kids over there that you don't even talk to or communicate with. Not the boy ones, it's the girl ones. So he does very little value for women. I think he's said it over and over and over. Luke realized money in government, whether you're for the good or the bad. And the thing is, he, based on the way things are going right now, maybe he should put his name on a Republican ticket. He might get a lot of support over there. We're going to erase Uncle Luke. We're going to talk about somebody good. That's how we like to end the show, with something positive, and that ain't it. Ryan Coogler becomes the first Black director with 4 films to gross over 100 million domestically. Ryan Coogler has officially become the first Black director with 4 films to gross over 100 million domestically, a milestone that speaks consistency, vision, and undeniable impact. From Fruitville Station to Creed, and from Black Panther to Wakanda Forever, Coogler hasn't just created a box office hits. He has told culturally resonant stories that center humanity, legacy, and Black excellence while connecting with global audiences. This moment is bigger than numbers. It's about breaking ceilings once felt immovable. It's about proving that authentic storytelling can be both meaningful and massively successful. And it's about inspiring the next generation of filmmakers to dream bigger, louder, and without limits. Salute to Ryan Coogler, rewriting history one film at a time. He does. His films are definitely inspiring. None of us walked out I can't speak for all of us, but a lot of us walked out of theaters very much empowered and feeling like we need the Black Panther, child. I told you I've been trying to summons up my mutant friends, and that's definitely one of them. You thought he was a white boy, Ryan Coogler? Yeah. Google him, Ja Tony. He's doing great things over here, and he's not the only one. Winter Olympics is, underway. And so we watching the folks over there skating and skiing and doing all the things. But remember Gabby Douglas? Gabby Douglas inducted into the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. First Black woman to win Olympic all-around gold, makes history again. Gabby Douglas has officially been inducted into U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame. In 2012, she became the first Black woman in history to win Olympic gold in all-around gymnastic competition, changing the sport forever and opening doors for a new generation. Her discipline, her excellence, her legacy. That is awesome. She's young. Is she even 30 yet? Love to hear it. So, yeah, I think that's a good place to stop today. You need Ryan to hook up with the girl from Lovecraft Country. I mean, or at least get together so we can create some more opportunities. She's a good storyteller. Shonda Rhimes is a good storyteller. There's a movie out there and I've been hearing about that they're trying to keep, block the shine of. We'll talk about it tomorrow because I want to do a little more research on it. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for today. I'm glad y'all came to hang out with me this morning. Enjoy your coffee, enjoy your day, and I will see you tomorrow at 10. Bye, y'all.